When my sails are torn, your love surrounds me.
Good morning, everybody. We're getting started with AM Power here in a few minutes. Just excited to be on here with you today. It's been a while since I've made an appearance on here, but it's an exciting day. Let me make sure I get, let's see, try to turn the waiting room off, but it's not letting me. That's okay. We'll just let everyone in. Of course, when I come in here, it doesn't make my settings adjusted. So how's everybody doing today? Throw in the chat where you are zooming in from. Would love to hear where you're at. I'm in Dallas, Texas today. Be here for a couple more days. Was just listening to some music this morning and figured we're gonna go a little deep today. Have some fun. It's Good Friday. How it's a good and an interesting day. So we're gonna reference a couple of those ideas in today's AM Power. All right, where we got people coming in from here. Let me get my chat up here. Dallas, New York, Mexico, awesome. Vancouver. We'll be up there soon, Rick. See you soon. Awesome. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we're getting started in a couple minutes here. Let us know where you're zooming in from. We got Buffalo, we got Guam in the house, Florida, Dallas, Indiana, Montana, Nevada, more Nevada. Awesome. Thank you for joining.
In the eye of the storm,
Going to get started in a couple of minutes.
when the solid ground is falling out from underneath my feet, between the black
I'll tend not
skies
to
and
get
my
too preachy
red
today, but
eyes,
we are going to reference some things.
when I realize I've been sold out by my friends and my family.
There's
I
Mr.
can
Jamie
feel the
Morales.
rain
Good
reminding
morning.
me,
Good morning. One of my
in
favorite
the eye of the
songs.
storm, you remain in control. In the middle of the war,
If you're joining us, drop in the chat where you're joining us from around the world. Let me know.
you guard my soul. You alone are the anchor. When my sails are
Good
torn,
morning. Good morning.
your love surrounds me. In the eye of the storm, when my hopes and dreams are far from me and I'm running out of faith, I see the future I picture slowly fade away.
All right,
And
we're going
when
to get
the
started
tears
in
are
about
fading
1, 2
away,
minutes.
I'm
Let everyone hop
pouring
on
down
here.
my faith. I find my peace in Jesus' name. In
There's
the
Miss
eye of the
Felipe.
storm, you remain in control.
Good morning. Good morning,
In the
everybody.
middle of the war, you guard my soul.
Good
You
morning. Good
alone are the
morning.
anchor. When my sails are torn, your love surrounds me.
Give everybody 1, 2 more
The
minutes
eye of the
here.
storm,
Going to be a short message today. All right, we got everyone hopping on here. Let's see. All right, good morning. Good morning. Would love to know, hopping on, where are you zooming in from? Where are you zooming in from? Good morning, Miss Tara Truax. Good morning. The V Man. Good morning, V. We'll get started here in a second. Everyone's just kind of pouring in. Minnesota, Buffalo, SoCal. Good morning from St. Louis. Awesome. All right, just getting everyone in here. I'm not sure why I can't take the waiting room off, but it's not letting me. So I just got to keep letting people in. All right, we got Kentucky, San Diego in the house. Awesome. Great rising, great rising. Good morning, Georgia, Georgia, Dallas. Awesome. Beautiful. Got a bunch of people coming in now. Come with Mr. Athon. All right, we'll give everybody one more minute. It'll be a short message today. I'm gonna go to the gym again and crush my body again. I'm working out with somebody that he pushes me a little bit, so it's a good thing, which would be interwoven into the message today. All right. Texas, Oklahoma, Vancouver. Excited to go to Vancouver. All right. Perfect. All right. Keep letting people in. Chicago. Yeah, and if you see people on here and you want to connect with them in your area, connect, connect, connect,
No,
connect.
I just want to fucking go back over here.
Okay. Good morning. Let's see. There we go. Now we got everyone muted. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let's get this party started. Try and admit everybody. Okay. All right. Let me take off here. And if you have your camera on, awesome. If you don't have your camera on, awesome. I am excited to share with you today a little message that I prayed on last night. I was like, what am I going to talk about today? That's kind of how I, I do these calls when I come on. I don't really plan out. I don't usually have slides. And that's for a very specific reason, because who knows what direction we're going to go in. I used to do these at least once a week, but it's been a little busy. But now that schedule is freeing up and I can kind of pour a little bit more in and excited to share with you today. All right. So today's talk. Oh, actually, first and foremost, good morning. Welcome to AM Power. These are always found on replay on our podcast on YouTube. You can go check it out. All those things are back there. We do these every morning, Monday through Friday, with just a different message every single day. I think we've done over 150, close to 200 of these since we started. And, there's a different topic every day. There's topics that might resonate with you, there's topics that might not resonate with you. There's skill training, there's business training, there's finance training, there's faith training, everything you could possibly imagine. And the reason for this is, it just allows you to get a little push in the morning that could potentially affect the outcome of your day. We've got speakers from all over the world that chime in. We've got speakers and people that watch the podcast all over the world. We're going to really be diving into really refining all the topics that come out on here on a daily basis, and it's just really cool to kind of see all of the information. And if you ever just want a place to be able to hear a little, get a little push in the morning, you can always plug into AM Power. And that's the idea of this is we always want to provide ways for you to plug in and be able to have a way that you can really just bring your day to another level. So if you're ever feeling down, if you're ever wondering, is this really going to work? I just plug into to what we're doing here, and you can get lifted up. That's the idea here. So, message today. I'm gonna attempt not to get preachy, but it's kind of my journey that I'm on. So if it's a little too preachy for you, hey, it's okay. This is really just a call about a message that is something that is near and dear to my heart. Just because I've been in this industry of direct sales, network marketing, direct to consumer, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it, online marketing for almost 30 years. It's been about a 28-year run. During that time, I've built really large businesses. I've been on the corporate side, and you get to kind of see all the things. And one of the really cool things that I've been able to experience and been blessed with is be able to see patterns, be able to see like what makes somebody a success in this business. You might be here for lots of different reasons. If you have a reason why you're here, why you plug into these calls, why you said yes to aligning with Vital Health, put it in the chat. Like, what made you decide to go, I'm going to do this? And not money. It can't be, I want to earn $500. It has to be something more. It has to be something that drives you every day. It could be getting out of debt. It could be creating a legacy for your family. It could be, there has to be a reason behind why you do things every day. And one of the commonalities that I've seen in people that are successful in this industry is they have this thing where pressure doesn't define them. Pressure doesn't define them. If you understand what that means, put pressure in the chat. But what I mean by pressure doesn't define them is that when things are hard, or when things are challenging, or when things happen that they can't explain, it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect where they're going. It doesn't affect how they show up. People don't know they're going through pressure. They use that pressure to refine who they are and the journey they're on. And so today's message, it's a little bit on the biblical side, but again, it's a reference to really understanding, what does pressure mean? Where am I going? If you're a person that is a believer, it's Good Friday. Good Friday is one of those double entendres because I don't know if it's a good thing when you wish people Good Friday. But it's one of those things that it really gives you a plan and a roadmap to go, okay, if I want to finish something, so all the things you put in the chat, whatever those are, whether it's legacy, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's saving for your family, whether it's creating a new income stream, whatever that is, that's that I classify that as the end goal, right? Whatever that is. And so if you want to go, okay, how do I get from where I am now to that end goal? Some people might go, oh, I got to increase my skills. I got to get better at closing. I got to do this. I got to do that. And really, when you really boil it down to what it takes, it actually has nothing to do with doing. It actually has everything to do with believing. That's all it takes. And it's a harder lesson to learn than doing, because everyone can do. You can take action, I can follow up, I can do this, I can do that, I can do things. But the question is what happens when there's a weight that's put on you? What happens when things don't go your way? What happens when you go, okay, I thought this would go faster, or something happened that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened, or whatever it is that comes into your world in this business, you go, okay, what do I do about it? And you really have two things you can do about it. You can respond or you can react. And the biggest lessons that I've learned, and it's one of the things that people kind of say all the time, is like, how do you do it all? How do you do all of this? How do you handle all of this? How do you handle the people? And really, I don't. I don't handle anything. I really just give it up to God all the time, and I've made that realization because when things are hard, again, it's coming from all angles, because if we know each other in any way, shape, or form, like Tara Truax and myself, like so many people on this club, these daily things that we're doing, either upfront, what that you see, or behind the scenes, it's a lot. And you go, wow, how does somebody handle all of that? How do they put it on their shoulders? How do they do that? And so I'm going to use this analogy today that is in the Bible. Again, if that is something that you're like, oh, why are we talking about this? That's okay, because again, it's just using it as a reference. Because this journey over the next 3 days for people that go into Easter, it's one of those times where sometimes people can get renewed faith a little bit during this time of the year, because again, a lot of people will go to church on Easter. They'll be around people, all these different things. But the idea of what Easter is and how it is, I'm not an expert at any of this. Don't think I'm a pastor or a preacher or anything like that. I'm not an expert on this by any means. But what I've learned is you can reference stories to go, okay, how can I bring that into my life? Because if you're looking for the secret or the reason or whatever it is, it's usually a lot easier than you think it is. Because you might look at somebody, like I said in the beginning, and go, wow, they're so skilled and they're such a great presenter and all these different things. You go, how did they get there? What course did they take? What experiences did they go through? How did they learn this? Can I read the books that they're reading and all these different things? And yes, you can. You can reach out to somebody that is in the position of this company that's having success and go, what did you do? What did you read? How did you get to where you are? And they could probably give you lots of answers of how they got there, because the course of action that they took or the path they took to get to that is probably different for everyone. But what they all usually have in common, I always have to say usually because some people don't go through a lot of this, but I would say 99% of people that I've met that are a success have gone through something like this. And one of the realizations I've made time and time and time and time and time again, I went to a men's retreat last weekend, and you might think people are successful by what you see on the outside. You see them, winning Super Bowl championships. You see them making a ton of money. You see them having super successful businesses. You see them hitting ranks in a company really fast, all these different things. You go, wow, that person must have it all figured out. And usually they don't. What they did is they realized there was a place that they needed to get to, and nothing was going to stop them from that. And so I'm going to reference some things today. And again, if you want to go back and reference it, you can, but it's really more about what this means over the next 3 days to a lot of people in the world. And when you think of what Friday is in relation to Sunday, which is Easter, what is that? How does that transition over? Why do people say Good Friday? What does that actually mean? And it was the time when people were really disappointed. Like they were upset. They were like, "Hey, this guy is not the guy," and they thought it was over. They thought they all believed in this guy, and they let him down. And so I don't know if you're in that season now. I don't know if you're in that season now. I don't know if you've been in that season now where maybe you feel like you're letting people down, or maybe you feel like other people are letting you down. You could look at somebody and go, "Ah, man, I thought this person that joined my business was going to crush it," and you get let down. Or you go to your upline and they don't respond to you and you go, "Ah, man, never responds to me." Or you go to a new prospect and they say no. And you're like, "Oh man, I thought that person would definitely say yes." And it affects you and you go, "Wait a minute, why me? Why is this happening to me?" And hopefully today I can kind of give you some glimpses of why it's happening to you, because I'm a big believer that everything I've ever been through is for a very, very specific purpose. It was not on accident. It was not a coincidence. One of my good friends talks about these dominoes that get lined up. He could talk about dots connecting, all this kind of stuff. And the first point here I want to bring to you is really creating an alignment before the assignment. Because I think a lot of people come in here into a business like this and they go, okay, my assignment is to sell products. My assignment is to recruit people. My assignment is to hit ranks. My assignment is to grow a team. Whatever that assignment you think that you created by coming here. But really, what you need to do first is you need to be aligned with who you are as a person. You'll hear all the time, you've heard David talk about this, you've heard Tara talk about this, or you've heard all the speakers that come on AM Power and talk about this, where it's like you have to, this business is a business of personal growth. And people go, why is that? Why isn't this a business of sales skills? Why isn't this a business of team building? Because as you grow your business, there will be more weight on your shoulders. So if you have this belief that the bigger your business grows, the less you'll have to deal with, I have to be honest, that's not true. The bigger business you have, the more weight that will be put on your shoulders. And if you're not in alignment with who you are as a person and your beliefs and your values, that weight will feel very heavy because you'll have people coming to you from all different angles. And not that it should become more stressful with more being added to your plate. It's about how do you respond to more being added. And so, if you want to reference something like this, it's Luke 22:42. But this is really about what happens in private. You know, what you see in public, what you see people doing and who they are and how they show up was defined what they do in private. You know, do they always look to get better? One of the things I love doing when I get into a company, and I've been here for over a year, is going to dinner with the owners, going to a fiesta with the owners. And you get to see how they interact privately, because how they interact privately and what they do privately is really a bigger realization and aha moment of how they're going to show up on a daily basis. So, in the background, what are the relationships you're building, the things you're forming, the systems you're developing? That's what's going to show up publicly. So, just like on Friday in the book, things were going on and people couldn't understand why, what's going on. But it was part of a plan that God put in motion many, many years ago and said, this is how we're going to do it. Because I need people to go through this process of not understanding and then have something happen that is truly unexplainable. So, the first thing I want you to really dig into after this call is, how are you aligned? Who are you as a person? What do you value? How do you respond to things that happen that are bad or frustrating? And if you react and go, "Oh, I knew this would happen," or "I can't believe that happened again," or all these different things, what would happen if that happened on Friday? If Jesus was like, "I knew this would happen, I'm out. I'm a disappointment. I'm going to stop." But he didn't stop. He kept going because the process won't always make sense. That's point number two. The process won't always make sense. When you think about where you are in your life, personal, business, faith, family, finances, all those different things, you go, why am I here? And here's the secret: you'll never be able to answer that question. There won't be an answer that comes to you someday that goes, this is why I was here. This is why I'm going through it. That answer will come after you go through the pressure. And some people won't go through the pressure. Some people will go, okay, I give up. Okay, I'm going to go do something else. Okay, this happened again, so I'm going to give up. And a lot of people will. If you look at the course of people look at your if you look at your business and you go, if you enrolled 100 people, probably about 20% of those are going to stick around. And then out of those 20% might do something. Out of those 20%, someone will do something really great. But you can't get mad at the 80% that did nothing. Because again, that's where they're at in their journey. Because what looks like pain was actually preparing you to be healed. What looks like loss was actually preparation in motion. Same thing with our company. How did Dr. Tony, why did this get founded? He turned his pain into purpose. And what I've learned is a lot of people that have had a lot of success have also gone through a lot of pain. Next point here is pressure is producing you as a person. And so if you're going through pressure, this is one of my favorite lines in the Bible is Romans 5:3 through 5, where it talks about suffering actually produces perseverance. And you might have heard this in other personal growth books. This is where it came from. Suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, And character creates hope. So when you see a person that exudes light, and you're like, wow, they're always showing up, they're there. The way they're doing that is they have developed character that allows them to hold on to a heavier burden that is perceived by others. So when people go, wow, how do they do it all? It's because they've developed a character that can hold on to it and rise and raise it up. That's that's what people do. They don't go and go, wow, how do you handle more stress? It's not about stress. It's about going, I've been through this and it wasn't as bad as that. Because the pressure you're feeling now, or maybe the pressure you felt, it's not something you're feeling. It's not breaking you. It's actually building you up. That's the purpose of that being in your life. And is this a question of like, oh, I need to suffer more? It's like, let's go look for suffering. I'm going to go find ways to go suffer. No, I wouldn't recommend that. But some people do that. Like a perfect example of this is going to the gym. I've been going to the gym hard for the last week. I can't bend my arm down to go straight right now because I've been going through some suffering. But that suffering is going to create better health, better vitality. And so if you feel like you're going through this suffering, know that there's something on the other side preparing you for what's to come. And that's what this all comes down to is how do you finish what you start? And I used to be a really, 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 really bad finisher. I would start a lot of things. And I would start one thing and I'd get to a certain point and be like, okay, I'm going to start something else. And I'm going to start something else. And I'm going to start something else. And over the course of the last few years, and again, I've been doing this for 30 years. So, this epiphany might come faster to you. Maybe it'll come to you today and it won't take you so long because I'm stubborn and, it takes me a long time to bring on things. But how to finish what you started is knowing that what's you're going through has the other side, unless you go the other way, unless you go backwards, unless you do something else, unless you get distracted and go, this might be better or that might be better. That's not what God's plan has for you. The idea is to go through it. Now, will everybody go through it? No, they just won't. It's a fact. They won't go through it. Maybe they don't have the personal development required. Maybe they haven't heard the message. Maybe they haven't been around the right people. And that's no fault of yours. That's the journey they're on. Because if someone's going to finish something, they will finish it. Because the reality is, most people don't fail because they can't do it. There's nothing in this business you can't do. You can always talk to more people. I can't find any people. Walk outside, go talk to somebody. There's no more people, James. I've run out of my list. There's no one to talk to. I don't know. There's 7, 8 billion people in the world. I'm sure you can find someone to go talk to. And you don't know where that specific connection is going to take you to. You might have someone in your business that came in. They came in on fire. They brought a big team in. They've got lots of people came in. And then that person decided to leave your business or be negative or be poisonous or whatever it is. But they brought all these connections to you that you never would have had if that little domino wasn't lined up the right way. Because most people don't fail because they can't. They fail because they stop. Stopping is easy. We were at the gym yesterday with David and Steve, and man, I am weak right now. Now, I'm not weak because I'm weak. I'm weak because I haven't used my muscles in a long time to lift some weights. And we were doing chest presses, and there was a point where I'd get to where I couldn't move my arm. Like it just wouldn't happen. It was like, and in my brain, I was like, this is not going to happen. So what do? You have a spotter. Somebody comes and picks up and goes, no, you're going to do this. Even if it's not a full effort, you're going to complete the motion because it's about completing the motion and getting the reps in more than it is than you pushing the weight by yourself and stopping with failure. So here's my challenge to you. Don't quit in your Fridays because that's where I see people quit. They quit at the low. They quit when it's hard. They walk away before the breakthrough that what they were going through was preparing them for. They go, okay, it's so hard. I'm going to go find something else to do. I'm going to step back. I hear that a lot. You know what? I'm going to step back. I'm going to just take a pause. Wonderful. I don't think Jesus ever took a pause. I love God was like, you know what? Just pause right now and just stop this journey. I don't think he did. And again, that's just if you could put any successful person in that spot, you can go, hey, how did this person do that? How did this person? They didn't stop. But why didn't they stop? Was it because they were so skilled? Was it because they just learned more than you? No, they had belief, they had faith. They kept moving forward and created what they wanted because of the pressure they went through. So, Friday is not your end because on Sunday, that's when it happens. So when you see someone, you go, wow, how did they get there? They got through Friday, but they also got through Saturday when he was put down and all the belief was gone. And then Sunday happened and still people didn't believe. And this is what it comes down to is that, what's the stone you might have to roll away? What is in your life that you have to lay down? And it could be simple. It could be your time. It could be an idol of yours. It could be social media. It could be something that is getting in your way of seeing what's true. Because that is something that you create. That wasn't created by God, that was created by you. Your burdens, your challenges, your belief, your ideas, those are things created by you inside your brain. And then your brain tries to convince you that it's true in your heart, but it's not. Because if you don't see the results yet, if you don't feel the momentum, you're wondering, hey, is this working? Don't judge your life on Friday because God's still working on your Sunday, even if you think this is not going to happen. I'm never going to hit diamond. I'm never going to make $1,000 a month. I'm never going to do this because if you stay aligned, if you stay surrendered, if you don't quit, Sunday is coming. That's where the prize is. If you don't go through that suffering, you don't go through those challenges, if you don't lay down the burdens, you just won't see it, whatever the challenge is. And so when you show up like this, when you show up in a different way with belief and faith, do you know what you're going to do? You're going to attract people like that. You're going to attract people that have faith, that have belief, that challenges they scoff at. They go, that's of man-made, that's not for me. And your alignment produces power that people want to be around. So that's why in the beginning of this message, I shared, why do people gravitate and how do they have success? Because they have this light of belief that was forged through pressure. It wasn't forged by it being easy. People don't go, oh man, it was so easy to get to the top. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. So as you might be in your Friday or you are experiencing Fridays, maybe you're in one right now. Maybe you're like, why is this happening? And if you are, have the knowledge that Sunday is coming. Now that Sunday might come this Sunday. They might come a month from now, might come 6 months from now. It might take 2 years for your Sunday to come. But the idea is to never get off the path. So if you're on here today and you're committed to finishing this, I want you to put I am committed in the chat. Put I am committed in the chat. Because if you are committed, nothing can get in your way. Not a no, not a person being negative, not a person having disbelief. They can't steal your belief. If you're committed to the finishing, committed to the Sunday, you don't have to worry about the Friday. It should be No Worry Friday instead of Happy Friday or Good Friday. No Worry Friday, because again, that's what this is about. And so, as you go off this call, how do you put this into real life? How do we put this into an actionable item? Go share the good news with somebody new. Go share the good news with somebody new. Because again, we don't have the power to resurrect the dead. Well, maybe someday. We don't have that power, but we have the power to give life. You have the power to give life. God gave women the power to create life. Gave men the power to create life in different ways, but gave that power to create life. So instead of going, this didn't work and that didn't work, or this person's not doing anything, or my business is not where I want it to be, go breathe life into a new person. What does that look like? You reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Let's say it's Rick. Rick, what's going on, man? Anything I can pray for you for today? What's going on in your life? I'd love to learn more. Reach out to Charity. Charity, what's going on? How are things in your life? Anything I can pray for? Anything I can do for you? Anything I can support? What's going on? That's prospecting. Prospecting is not a script that you go, well, let me read my script and go, hey, are you interested in a new business opportunity? No. People want to feel connected. They want to feel that you care about them. And that's what this business is about. And so that's what I'm committed to. I've been offline for a long time. I've been deep in the trenches of what we've been building. And I want you to be committed to going forward towards your Sunday. So if you're committed to going forward towards your Sunday, drop Sunday in the chat. We did I am committed. Now drop a Sunday in your chat if you're committed to that process. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Every day that we get breath, somebody said this to me last weekend. If you're not thankful for the breath that you get every single day, you can always give it back. I don't think anybody wants to give back their breath because it was put in your lungs for a reason. And you get to show up today how you want to show up. So show up today as if Fridays don't matter and Sunday is coming. And you're going to attract people into your life that you would never in a million years believe that is even possible to create because of how you showed up for them. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was a pleasure being able to share this message. If this is something that you had value to, if this is something that you think you want to share it with somebody, feel free to do that. It'll be posted in the next day or two. You can share it with everybody. That's what these podcasts, what the AM Power was designed to do. Because AM Powers were not designed for you. Maybe it was designed for you to share a message with someone that might lead to a conversation that could potentially lead to an idea that you can share with them about how they can improve their health, how they can improve their lifestyle, how they can create these things. Use these as a tool to grow and get to your Sunday. So thank you so much. If you want to come off mute and say hi, feel free to do that. And we'll close out the call. I'll continue my little song that I was singing earlier.
Thank
you, James. Thank you so much.
Paul James.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Word today, James.
Thank you, James.
Awesome.
What's up, James? Damn.
Really great message.
That was all.
Thank you, James.
Great word, James.
That was awesome.
Thank you, James.
Great training,
You're
James.
welcome.
Good job, James. Phenomenal training, brother. Great job.
Have a blessed weekend, everybody.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Lift your arms. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
My only hope is to trust
Woo! I love that song.
trust you, Lord.
You're awesome.
Great call, James.
Thank you, Bronson.
Happy Sunday, y'all. Sunday's
Sunday.
coming.
Thank you, James.
Welcome.
Way to bring it, James. Good stuff, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
In the
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you, Tanya.
In the eye of, in the eye of the storm. I know you're watching me, yeah.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.